Rochelle is about to arrive. Passengers bound Rochelle, please take the train at the second floor platform. Thank you.
The ALISHAN Forest Railway was planned and constructed in 1903. The Taiwan Governor General's office aimed to develop the ALISHAN forests and to facilitate timber transportation. Surveys, measurements, and planning for the railway began. The railway was constructed by the Japanese in 1906, and the official opening of the line from CHIAYI to Erwanping took place on December 25, 1912. Initially focused on timber transportation, the railway gradually transformed into a tourist attraction as the forestry industry declined. This transformation helped promote the development of local settlements and tourism along the route, and it has now been operating for over a century. The current operating line from CHIAYI to ALISHAN is approximately 72 kilometers long and is one of the world's most famous mountain railways. The ALISHAN National Forest Recreation Area lies at an altitude of about 2,200 to 2,700 meters, putting it in the warm temperature forest belt and a climatic transitional zone. Enshrouded in clouds all year round and having a moist environment, this is the cloud forest belt. This belt forms a coniferous broadleaf boundary. Here you find a mixed coniferous broadleaf forest, with a middle layer comprised mainly of Fagaceae family trees and an upper canopy of cypress. Formosan red cypress, in particular, tend to form giant tree clusters. This is truly the home of green giants. Standing beside a giant tree as the fog blankets the forest at dawn or dusk, and you will be moved by the aura of eternal majesty. ALISHAN is covered with dense forests, in which some of the towering trees are individuals, but most are fusion trees. When seedling trees sprout and grow too close together, they can become conjoined like Siamese twins. With so many seedlings sprouting on the floor of the cypress forest, there are lots of opportunities for them to become fusion. Fusion trees can be distinguished by the grooves on their trunks, but a more accurate method is to extract tree core using a non-destructive accretion borer. Research shows that ALISHAN's fusion trees develop in 5 morphogenetic responses of fusion of red cypress in lifespan: root graft, root plate fusion, trunk fusion, next generation fusion, and evergreen. Trees, like animals, grow through the stages of youth, middle age, and old age. Generally, the approximate age of a tree is estimated by measuring its diameter at breast height, but a more precise determination can be obtained by using a non-destructive increment borer. This is a hollow drill that bores through the bark into the trunk and takes a core from the tree. The age is calculated by counting the annual growth rings in the core. The hole left by the borer is covered over, or medicines are applied to protect the tree. A research team from National CHIAYI University used an increment borer to extract a tree core from the ALISHAN giant cypress, and then studied the core to determine if the tree is actually formed of fusion tree. Continuing this with other methods, the team determined that the tree consists of trunk fusion in different lifespan. Giant tree cluster trails 1 and 2 total about 1,050 meters in length and are built above the ground. Along the trails, you can see a total of 36 giant Formosan red cypress trees, making it feel like you are walking under the feet of giants. Here, you can fully experience the majesty of ALISHAN's cypress forest. The elevated boardwalk prevents the tree's roots from being damaged by the trampling by large numbers of visitors and protects the ground cover plants as well. The entire distance takes about 1.5 hours to complete by foot. Only 5 cypress species and 1 variety are left in the world, with the US, Canada, Japan, and Taiwan each boasting 2 species. Taiwan's unique geographical environment has given to species of high-quality wood material and aesthetic value, the Taiwan cypress and Formosan red cypress. Cypress trees constitute Taiwan's most ancient ecological systems, and giant cypress trees are often called sacred trees. Most of the logging of these trees was done during the Japanese occupation, 1895 to 1945, but is continued after Taiwan was restored to the ROC administration. Due to the ruggedness of the mountain terrain and the difficulty of transportation, however, most of Taiwan's natural cypress forests have been preserved for the whole world to see. It is called thin bark because its bark is thin and smooth. It is also called Maniki and Taiwan Sawara cypress. It got its name because its heartwood is light red. Plants rely on three forces to live: root pressure, cohesion force, and transpiration pull. These forces transport groundwater into the canopy at a speed of 5 to 45 meters per hour. In wheat, for example, water can be transported throughout the whole plant in about a minute. Giant trees need a lot of power to pull moisture upward against the force of gravity, but their thick xylem and phloem tissue can contain thousands and tens of thousands of vascular bundles that, when working together, can easily overcome gravity and atmospheric pressure to transport the necessary moisture and nutrients. What we call a cypress is classified as a gymnosperm and a member of the genus Chamaecyparis of the family Cupressaceae. In Taiwan, cypress refers to the Formosan red cypress and Taiwan cypress. North America, Japan, and Taiwan. Cypress forests are some of Taiwan's oldest ecosystems and are a world-class ancient treasure along with the ginkgo and John redwood. Cypress trees are rich in phytoncides, and they can remain unchanged for a century. They grow slowly and produce hard, fine-grained wood that is rot-resistant and has lovely patterns. This makes them a favorite among forest robbers. The red cypress grows mainly on lower slopes and in valleys, while the Taiwan cypress tends to grow on upper slopes, ridges, and in leeward areas. You can calculate the age by using an accretion borer. An accretion borer is a specialized hollow auger used to extract a core of wood from a tree with a complete set of 3 rings for counting. 2. Radiocarbon dating can also be used to estimate the age of a tree. The entire Formosan red cypress can be used to extract hinoki essential oil, which has antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties and can cure mycotic disease. The middle of the Formosan red cypress is hollow. Old Formosan red cypresses are often hollowed out by hymenomycete fungi. The Formosan red cypress appeared in Taiwan about 3 million years ago, and the Taiwan cypress about 1.7 million years ago. Living on the shoulders of giants, epiphytic and parasitic plants. The Formosan red cypress likes to grow in the cloud forest belt where there is plenty of moisture for the growth of parasitic and epiphytic plants on its trunk. The catenulated shield fern, the Pteria flexuosa shoestring fern, rabbit's foot fern, tuber-bearing blueberry, and the rare Kawakami rhododendron, along with various mosses and vines. These plants that grow on the shoulders of giants are generally small, but they use this smart survival strategy to seek out sunlight. Cypresses are gymnosperms, vascular plants that produce flowers and cones with exposed seeds that are not enclosed in mature ovaries or fruits. While they also use seeds to propagate, their blossoms do not have the bright colors or the form of flowers, and their seeds are exposed, with no thorough protective structures. The heartwood of old Formosan red cypress trees is often corroded away by hymenomycete fungi, which, after infecting a tree, spreads upward from the root to the trunk and then outward from the center. The heartwood is often left with a pattern of beehive-like holes in concentric circles, somewhat like the cross-section of a lotus root. This is called lotus rootwood. The corrosion could cause the trunk to hollow out, but the tree does not fall easily. The phloem and cambium layers of the bark continue to transport moisture and nutrients, enabling the tree to continue standing strong. The ALISHAN area has a rich forest environment with multiple levels, ranging from subtropical broadleaf to frigid zone forest. The hills below 800 meters are covered with tropical forest that mainly consists of acacia and paper mulberry trees, but there is also temperate forest containing mostly camphor, maple, nanmu, and Fagaceae family trees. The temperate forest, at altitudes of about 1,800 to 3,000 meters, is filled with large numbers of Formosan red cypress, Taiwan cypress, Taiwania, Taiwan hemlock, and Chinese white pines trees, otherwise known as the 5 tree species of ALISHAN. Rhododendrons and trees of the Fagaceae family grow in the understory. Up in the altitudes of 3,000 to 3,500 meters, the frigid forest zone vegetation consists mainly of Kawakami fir. Most of the Formosan red cypress sacred trees left today have survived logging because they are crooked or hollowed out. Taiwan cypress trees have straight trunks and wood with a rich gloss, making them the prime choice of construction material. Therefore, more of them were logged. Phytoncides from cypress trees can boost the immune function of and reduce stress in the human body. The wood of the Formosan red cypress is pale red and fine in texture. Its bark is relatively thin, giving the tree the common name thin bark. It often grows in mixed stands with Taiwan cypress, which has thicker bark and is commonly called the thick bark tree. Both of these endemic Taiwan species belong to the Chamaecyparis genus and have the outstanding traits of being aromatic and insect-resistant, giving them a very high economic value. Therefore, they deemed as precious first-class conifers. The Formosan red cypress is a Heliophilous species with a well-developed root system. Young trees requires a certain amount of sunlight and grows rapidly. It is distributed mainly in conifer forests and favors a warm, moist environment. The Formosan red cypress cone has a 7 to 12 millimeters long. It has an oval shaped and has 10 to 13 scales. Lift your head to gaze the crown of the Formosan red cypress. Most Formosan red cypress limbs droop downward, while most Hinoki false limbs grow upward. It grows in temperate forests at altitude around 1,800 to 3,000 meters. Common uses include the making of furniture, daily use items, and sculpture. 1,000-year cypress. The 1,000-year cypress was once named the bonsai cypress because forestry officials during the Japanese occupation thought that it looked like two arms raised while wishing the emperor a long life. When then provincial governor Si Tungman toured Alishan in 1976, he considered the name bonsai to be inappropriate, since the tree was only 2,000 years old, and renamed it Thousand-Year Cypress. The Boei Pavilion next to the tree contains an inscription of the poem, Ode to Sun Yat-sen, and beside it is the beginning of the #1 Giant Tree Cluster Trail.